Plan Commission meeting. Can we get a roll call, please?
Tammy Bailey. Here. James Fincham.
Here.
Logan Zuber.
Here.
Chris Lamb.
Here.
Mike McCarowicz.
Here.
Daryl McConnell.
Here.
Devin Boland.
Here.
Susan Mag.
Here.
Lucas Straw.
Here.
Joseph Schultes.
Here.
John Good.
Here.
Suzanne Davis.
Here.
I can confirm that we do have a quorum. We have no items underneath organizational business. You should have all had access to the October 14th, 2025 minutes. You've had a chance to review those. Any questions, comments, or concerns about the minutes?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from the October 14th, 2025 meeting.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. There's no need to modify the agenda. Is there, staff, or? Nope. Okay, so we'll continue on. We have nothing underneath old business. New business, we do have 3 items. The first item on the agenda today is Development Plan 2025-9, the YMCA Child Care and Early Learning Center expansion. I'll go ahead and open the public hearing and turn it over to staff.
Thank you, sir. Jim Catterett, City Planner for Auburn. For this request was filed by Bob Kraft on behalf of Young Men's Christian Association of DeKalb County. They're requesting a development plan approval for a building expansion to the YMCA Child Care and Early Learning Center, which is located at 2858 County Road 36A. It's the property, the entire property is outlined on the map in yellow. A development plan requires public hearing, was advertised in the Star on October 17th, and we notified 13 property owners in the vicinity of the facility. The property itself, the northern part of the property where the existing facility is located at is zoned IS, which is institutional. The southern portion, which is a property they recently acquired, is zoned I-1 light industrial. The addition itself, if you scroll further, that's proposed is what's highlighted in yellow that you can see here. So the existing facility is on the north. They're proposing an addition to go to the southern portion of the building, and it'll actually connect to the existing building that's on the property to the south. Again, the YMCA has acquired the entire property. The connection will be made as part of this phase. I think future phase would be some potential improvements to the building. Used to be the building Signature Construction was located in. I think the theater was there many years ago. That property's been purchased and will be part of this plan, and I'll get into those details here in a moment. But the highlighted portion is what the addition is requested for this evening. They did provide some building elevations. Architecture of the building will match what's existing with the facility, and as well as showed a floor plan for the property. A few photographs of the property. This is from the parking lot. We're looking east. This is showing it's an existing playground area, but it will be where the building expansion will go. This is looking in the opposite direction from the west, and I'm looking west at the property. And this is from the parking lot of that property to the south. This 500 North Street is the property that was to the south. This is the parking area showing where the building will expand. And this is just an aerial shot. There was a garage, a pole building between the existing child care facility and the 500 North Street property that's been removed in order for anticipation of the expansion. We didn't receive any public comments as part of our notifications. We also placed our typical public notice signs on the property. Routing committee has reviewed this, and all the departments have approved the final plan. Project advisory met on November 6th. So the addition itself is a little over 6,700 square feet, and the expansion is going to occur again to the south side of the building. The main building is currently just under 12,000 square foot. The main entrance to the facility will remain the same as you enter the facility now for the parking lot. There will be additional entrances, staff entrances. One of the specific things they're doing with this project is adding staff parking area on that 500 North Street property. The addition itself is going to have 5 classrooms, and there's what's referred to as a large motor space for children activities. Again, I mentioned the parking area being added is to the south of the addition. So there'll be a new entrance for employees on the south side of this building addition. And then again, space is reserved for employees. The playground area that was on the south side of the building shifts to the west side of the building. It'll have access to each of the classrooms that are on the west part of the new addition. I mentioned parking. Right now, there's 37 parking spaces for the facility. And with the building expansion area, they're required to have a total of 75 spaces for the facility. And the additional parking area being added to the south will accommodate the 75 required spaces. So they do meet all of our parking spaces. And that property at 500 North Street has additional land area for parking for any activities that would occur there. So shared parking is also available, but at this time, not knowing the exact intended use of the 500 North Street property, we can't determine how many spaces that would require, but we know there's more than adequate spaces for this addition plus the anything that would happen at the 500 North Street property. They are making some adjustments to stormwater control. With the new addition, there's going to be some additional storm sewers pipes installed, but it all gets directed to the north, where there's an existing small detention area along the county road. And that was approved. That plan was approved by the Drainage Board as required. I mentioned the architectural design of the building matches the current building. And I also want to mention the 500 North Street property that's zoned industrial. There is an active petition to reclassify the zoning of that property to institutional. When the request came in, And now that the property is officially transferred, staff requested that the zoning be all consistent and to change the 500 North Street to institutional to match. And so that will be on your agenda at your next meeting. So with that, staff does feel that all the development standards of our UDO have been met, and we do request that you accept the staff proposed findings and approve this development plan, subject to three standard conditions that we place on development plans, being erosion control in place before they start site work, the construction design release issued by the state, and that all the work be done in accordance with the approved plans. That concludes staff report.
Thank you, Jim. Any questions from the commission to staff?
The one question I do have is related to the zoning. Given zoning hasn't been updated to date, does this plan still meet the thresholds of the current zoning?
It does, because the addition, we're approving the addition because we know it's a child care center, but the addition does extend onto the adjacent property. But we can approve a development plan for a building addition. We're not necessarily approving it for a child care center. We're approving it for any use that would be allowed to go on there. And there are certain office and other uses that are allowed on that property. So that's why we wanted to have it's more of a technicality. We wanted to have this southern property reclassified to institutional, so there's no question, especially as they go to use that new building, in the future. But at this point in time, no, from our standpoint, it's not a reason you have to reclassify the zoning of that property first. That will be in place prior to this building being occupied for any use.
Yeah, the only delta I really saw between the plan and the current standard is the approved uses for the lot based on the zoning criteria, which wouldn't come into play at this time.
Yeah.
But that was the only two things that I had noticed kind of into that plan. And it's, if they still meet the thresholds of whether it's an IS or an I1, then that's kind of the major question.
They do. That's why we look at parking, we look at setbacks and all of that, architectural standards, all of that. As part of this process tonight. So
Okay.
They met all those requirements.
Thank you.
Any further questions? Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Would anybody from the petitioner like to come forward and speak to the commission? Please state your name and address.
Evening. My name is Scott Karst. I'm with Engineering Resources. We're a civil engineer on the project. I think Jim did a great job explaining the intent and purpose of the project. It's just fulfilling a need of the community and repurposing an existing facility to help out that solution. So like he did say, we're providing adequate parking for staff. We're not adding any hard surface area. We're actually subtracting hard surface area because of the playgrounds and the grass and stuff like that. We're not altering drainage paths or anything like that. We're taking everything to the existing stormwater basin. And yeah, we're just looking for any questions you guys might have on the technical side.
Any questions?
Mm-mm.
All right.
Okay, thank
Appreciate
you.
your
We may
time.
call you back up here in a minute. We'll see.
Great. Thank you.
Before I turn it over to the public, I would like to remind you, if you've come in late or I didn't remind you earlier, please make sure you've signed in the back. And if at this time I'm going to turn it over to the public, anybody wants to speak on or against this can come forward and speak. Please come up to the microphone, state your name and address before you address us, and please also address the commission, and we will forward the questions and comments on to either the petitioner or staff from there. So would anybody from the public like to come up and speak on or against this project? Anybody from the public like to speak? Seeing none, I'll go ahead and close the public hearing and turn it over to discussion. Any further discussion amongst commission members?
I'm going to start off. I am a member of the YMCA board, and so I'm not going to vote on this one. But I do want to comment is that this is a good use for the building. What's actually happening is we're moving our school-age childcare, which is over in the shopping center right now, beside Jalapenos. And we're bringing that over to this and be able to double the size of the number of kids we're servicing. A great benefit of this is then those kids are going to be more accessible to the YMCA and also the soccer park across the street. So it's just kind of a good use. The community needs this. We're short on childcare already, desperately. We have a waiting list of 150 kids in the YMCA right now. So this is something that's desperately needed. And so I'm definitely in favor of it. But again, I won't be voting on it.
Any further discussion? I mean, I agree. It's definitely needed. We've needed something for a long period of time. And even with the expansion, we still need more childcare in the city. So that's for sure.
Yep.
Anything else? Okay. Let's take a look at the findings of facts. We do have findings of facts that we need to approve for this, and there are 5 of them. So they're pretty standard for our development plan. Does anybody see an issue with these, or if not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the findings of facts as presented.
No issue. I would move to approve the findings of fact for PC Development Plan 2025-009 as presented by staff.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a couple seconds. Any comments further? All in favor of approving the findings of facts signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, now we need to approve the plan as presented with the staff recommendation. Remember, there's 3 of those as well. So unless there's further discussion, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Move to approve PC Development Plan 2025-009 with the 3 findings of fact as presented by staff.
3 conditions.
Or sorry, 3 conditions as presented by staff.
Second.
We have a motion, a couple of seconds again. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you very much and good luck. Next item underneath new business is the Fortify 11 apartments. This is PC Development Plan 2025-10. I know we need to table this, but we still need to open the public hearing first. So I'll go ahead and open the public hearing and turn it over to staff to just discuss where we stand and the fact we need to continue the public hearing and table this to the December 9th meeting.
Yes, this was a project that was going through our routing review comments. There were some documents that were needed to be submitted to staff, and the applicant wasn't able to get those to us in a timely fashion. So we did reach out, staff reached out to the applicant and advised that we would request tabling of the item tonight. We still needed to open the public hearing in case anybody wanted to speak on this, because we did advertise for this. And they were fine. They understood the reasons for it. They're working on getting the information to us, so they'll be ready for your December 9th meeting. So we do ask that you allow anybody that may want to speak on this case tonight, and then just continue the case to your December 9th meeting.
Thank you. And I'll turn it over to anybody from the public that would like to speak on or against the Fortify 11 apartments. Keep in mind, we will be having another public hearing. This is continuing at the next meeting as well, and we will present everything at that time. But you're more than welcome to, if you've looked at things ahead of time and have something you want to say now, please step up to the microphone. Again, please state your name and address. Anybody from the public to speak? Seeing none at this time. At this point, I'd like to entertain a motion. Remember, we need to make this motion so that we continue the public hearing and table this numbered ordinance, I'm used to the city council, the development plan 2025-10 to the December 9th meeting. So it does need to be meeting specific.
Make a motion to table this to the December 10th? December
And
9th?
continue the public hearing. Continue the public hearing.
Continue the public hearing.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Third item, East Auburn Estates, detailed development plan. This is a primary plat. It's PC primary plat 2025-002. I'll go ahead and open the public hearing and turn it over to staff.
Thank you. Keith Dedrick, on behalf of the property owner, Toby Buck, requesting approval of a detailed development plan, which also serves as the primary plat, for East Auburn Estates subdivision. This is development proposed at the southwest corner of Auburn Drive and County Road 46A, highlighted in red on the screen. Again, this request requires public hearing advertised in the Star on October 17th, and there were 12 adjacent property owners notified on this request. The property itself is zoned PD, which was our planned development district. At a previous meeting, you modified that planned district as was requested by the applicant, and that was approved by the council. Couple of photographs of the property. You should all be familiar with this property as it came before you before. Just a few photographs that show nothing's really changed. The outbuildings that you saw and the house that you saw is actually part of Outlot 3 on this development, proposed development. We'll show this is the approved establishment plan. So the overall zoning is PD, which is a planned district. Within that district, there are 3 different land uses. Most of the property on the southern part is the single-family residential area. There are 2 different commercial areas. One is C2, which is our general commercial area. Those are the tract of land that's along Auburn Drive. And then where the existing house and 2 outbuildings are at, that property is proposed for neighborhood commercial. This request was routed for review on a couple of occasions. The final review comments that are identified in your staff report have been addressed. So that was, this report was put out last Wednesday. And since that time, the engineer for the project has submitted a revised plan that both engineering department had comments and the planning department had comments, and those have been addressed. The project advisory again met on November 6th on this project. We did receive some interest on this property from the public. A couple of residents did call in requesting the project file be sent to them. We had 4 residents visit the department, again, wanting to look at the plan and having some questions. We did receive 1 letter of objection that's in the folder for you to look at. And we did place the public notice signs on the property back on October 10th. So the property itself, again, it is within the city limits. It was annexed back in August, on August 5th. The current plan development zoning designation was approved back on August 19th. And there were a number of conditions that pertain to that approval that do have to be held either with this plan as submitted to you this evening or in the future. The applicant at this point is requesting approval of the detailed development plan. So this is step 2 of the process. Step 1 was establishing that ordinance and the zoning and the uses that would be allowed. Step 2 is the primary plat, the development plan for the project. Step 3 would be recording a secondary plat, which establishes all the lots within the subdivision. For any development that might occur on the commercial lots, there'd be an additional step of a formal development plan for any commercial building that would be constructed on the lots. That would be a public hearing. So if anybody received direct notice as part of that, or we'll put the signs back out, so you'll know when a commercial development comes in and proposed on one of those 2 lots, you'll know that it's being discussed by the Planning Commission. This development plan, there are 58 single-family residential lots now, and there are 3 commercial lots. Again, the 2 which are undeveloped along Auburn Drive, and the one that's currently developed with buildings along 46A. The uses that we approve for the property, again, the only residential uses are either site-built single-family dwellings or modular dwellings. Both of those have to comply with our 1 and 2 family dwelling code. The same code applies whether it's modular or a site-built. We do not allow in this property manufactured homes or mobile homes. Those are not permitted uses or special exception uses. The neighborhood commercial district is our C1 district. Again, that's where the existing buildings are at. Don't anticipate a change in the use of that property at this time, but it would be restricted to neighborhood commercial uses. And then the 2 lots on Auburn Drive would be general commercial, which is what we typically see and know of commercial. It does allow more intensive commercial uses. Site utilities, there are utilities to the property now, but there'll be some extension of those utilities to serve all the lots within the subdivision, as well as be continued to the west to County Road 31 to allow future extension and improvements south of this development. Stormwater runoff is always an issue. Again, this property is field now, so we're talking about some development on the property. The intent is to create a wet detention pond in the middle of the property, and all the storm water from the lots and the new roads that are on the lots will go to the detention basin in the middle of the property. The release of that, the storm water from that, initially when there was discussion, was going to go to an old field tile that was somewhat suspect on how viable that field inlet would be for this development. So the development now shows a new storm sewer constructed from the detention basin all the way to the existing storm sewer on Auburn Drive, which is further to the west. So pretty extensive plan, but it's certainly a more reliable outlet for stormwater. So we won't have a concern of a failure of the system. So that is proposed for stormwater. The Drainage Board doesn't officially act on it until secondary plat. The surveyor's office has reviewed the plan, and so they're familiar with the stormwater plan that's proposed. It's just that the Drainage Board won't act on it until secondary plat. The other requirements of the UDO open space, the connectivity index requirement, which shows connectivity of the street system, have all been met. The perimeter landscaping requirement, which is landscaping at the entryways to the subdivision, has been met. So as staff looked at it, this primary plat complies with all of our requirements. The developer did incorporate the required changes that the Planning Commission made with the ordinance. So you've required all the streets to be public. So all the streets now have the public right-of-way and width of a public street. All the streets interior now have sidewalks because that's a requirement for city streets. All the lots have the 60-foot minimum lot width. That was one of the requirements. And the trail system, which is the 8-foot wide trail, is required, is shown along Auburn Drive and 46A. And then the sidewalk requirement along County Road 31 is provided. So all the conditions that apply to the plat have been met. There were additional conditions: minimum home size at 1,350 square foot. Each lot shall have a 1-car attached garage. Each lot shall have a door facing the street. Those aren't part of the primary plat, but there are conditions that get carried on, and the developer obviously is fully aware of those. So I think all the conditions from the last public hearing and the ordinance have been met. Staff has submitted proposed findings of fact on this request for your consideration. And we do recommend that you approve this detailed development plan, primary plat for the subdivision, subject to, there are now 5 conditions. Condition number 1, that's identified list, has been taken care of. They've submitted the revised drawing that now complies and has addressed all routing comments. So we don't need to include condition 1, but conditions 2 through 6 we request that you include. And I just want to briefly go over those. Condition 2, we don't want to allow direct access from these residential lots to either County Road 46A or 31. So that condition requires all those lots, even though they have dual frontage, they have to be accessed from the interior street. And the other conditions deal more with, as I mentioned, the sidewalks, the perimeter landscaping, and its signage. So we do recommend approval, and we've submitted findings of fact for your consideration.
Thank you, Jim. Any questions from the commission?
Jim, so are trailers allowed in this project? Trailers
Absolutely not.
are manufactured housing.
No.
Can you define what modular is?
Modular home, I mean, it's constructed at a factory, constructed to the same codes as a site-built home. And because a manufactured home is a different set of codes. So that's an important distinguishment between the two. Modular homes do get transported to the site. They are placed on a permanent foundation and in essence not movable at that point in time. I mean, any house can be moved, right? But once it's placed on the foundation, it is just like a site-built home.
So they don't have an I-beam like a manufacturer. Gotcha. Any further questions?
Yeah, Jim, real quick on number 2, you're talking about the residential lots, but the 2 outlots along Auburn
Yes.
Drive physically could do a direct connection, even though we know their intent is to come off the new street. But we don't mention that in here.
We don't mention that. I think that's more determined at the time we know what the plan is coming in. So I don't think we want to necessarily restrict that at this point. But yes, the condition reads no direct access of single family lots. So those
Because they'd have
commercial
to
lots,
they'd have to re-come and do another development plan to
And
be
they
able to
will.
develop those.
and they will, the commercial lots will.
Right.
Yes. So we'll determine where access could be at that point.
Anything further? Thank you.
Thank you.
Would anybody from the petitioner's standpoint like to come up and speak? Please come up and state your name, address.
Justin Hoffman, 6525 Ardmore Avenue, Fort Wayne, Indiana. I'm with Brooks Construction. I'm the civil engineer for the project. Jim did a great job of explaining the project and all the things that we're going through. So other than answering questions, I really don't have anything else to add, but I'd like to thank everyone for their time in reviewing.
Questions from the commission?
No, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Very good. Thank
We
you.
may call you back up. Okay, at this time, I'm going to open it to the public. Again, as I said before, please come up and state your name and address. If you have any comments that you would like to direct, please make sure you direct them to the commission and we will forward them on, whether it be comments or questions. There are a lot of people out in the audience, so I'm going to limit this to begin with 3 minutes. So I'm going to please give you 3 minutes to speak. I'm not saying you can't come back up and speak again a second time, but we'll see. Because a lot of you, I'm sure, have the same concerns. So I will now open the floor to any public comment. If you have any thing you would like to ask or discuss about this, please feel free to come to the microphone. Thank you.
I'm John Stoops, 5113 County Road 31. I have the bordering property along the fence line, and we're concerned about earth moving that might be done on that project, but I understand there's a 60-foot setback. And if they do any excavating along there, would there any be earth move over to the fence line? And that type of thing is what we're kind of concerned with. Another thing that I'm concerned with is the traffic flow. If you've ever been on 31 and you try to go towards Auburn, you'll find that the traffic is heavy between 46A and 31. So now you've got another road and you've got these other outlets. Anybody going to Auburn is going to have to make left-hand turns, which means you have to cross the lanes of traffic. So I think a traffic study would be an interesting thing to find out on that. Other than that, that's the main thing that I'm kind of concerned with. And having been a farmer and lived in this neighborhood all my life, I was a little disappointed in the way the property looks at the moment. I've never seen weeds on that property to the height of this. And I would have thought, might have taken a little better care of that. But that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And I'll go ahead and ask questions before we have somebody else come up. Two main concerns there were traffic. And I understand the traffic issue, but traffic study, I understand the idea behind that. That corridor over the years is going to really boom, I have a feeling. So at some point, yes, we're going to have to do something along that corridor with the traffic study potentially. Because, I mean, that road, Auburn Drive, was built for a lot of traffic on it. A lot more than currently on there. But I understand the county roads on the sides as well. But the earth moving, I don't know if anybody would like to talk about the earth moving. I know it's still, we're on the primary plat, not the secondary. So anything about earth moving, either the developer, can you let him speak and then you can come back up and finish? You had a couple, like 30 seconds to go on your time.
So to be clear, you're talking about on the south property line of the development?
Yeah.
So currently there's a large tree line and it's kind of up on a hill. We have started some preliminary grading, and that grading for the rear of those lots is actually going to go down 8 to 10 feet from the elevation that the ground is at the property line or at the fence. So in essence, the homes that are along that south line are going to have an 8-foot earthen berm plus the trees. We're doing it so we don't disturb any of the trees. We want to leave that trees and that fence line as they are. That's our intent. And so, if you're standing on the south property looking over, you're going to be looking at the tops of roofs, not into people's homes, from that perspective. So that's the intent, at least at this time, and how we're moving forward with it.
Thank you. Did that answer your question? I take it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else like to come and speak?
Well, I'm Sue Stoops, John's wife, 5113 County Road 31, Auburn. And I do thank you for leaving the tree line alone. And when we went up to talk up at the office, it looked like there's about a 60-foot setback where there's nothing can be built. So, because I think if we're going to have 58 families, we might have 100 kids, and kids like to play in the trees, fall out and break their arms. The other thing is, John mentioned going to Auburn from the subdivision, but going to Fort Wayne across the railroad tracks. You guys ever waited on a train on 31 for hours? So what I'm asking has nothing to do with this project, but keep on the railroad to get that overpass built.
Yep.
I mean, really keep on them. We've had drainage problems where we have a stack of letters this high over years to get it done.
I'll comment on that real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the railroad overpass is in the works. It's just a process. We've got federal funding. I believe it's scheduled for 2029, if I'm thinking right. So it's in the works.
Keep on them.
But it's going
It's
to
a
be on, it's
process.
going to be on Wayne Street. It's not going to be on County Road 31.
I know, but keep on them.
Yeah, thank you. Anybody else from the public like to speak?
Greg Wolf, 3320 County Road 46A. And I'm concerned about the drainage again. I went and talked to the county and they said they would help looking at that. And right now, I got pictures to show him of water in this southeast corner over the road just 3 years ago because it can't get away that way. So looking to work with them and see if they can help us make sure we get the water away so we don't have water coming to us all the time.
I had that concern the first time they came and presented the plan, the other part of this, the first part. But today they said they're going to attach at least storm drain to the storm system. So that should help alleviate some of it. But again,
Down in that corner.
correct.
Okay.
Well, I didn't mean correct for
would've-
that, but I mean, that should help and hopefully alleviate some of the stuff that does come down to that area. So Drainage Board will take care of that, but that's the next step.
Okay. All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. I shared your concern on that one, by the way. Anybody else? Anyone else from the public that would like to speak? Okay, hearing none, I'll go ahead and close the public hearing. Open it up to discussion from the commission. Any further discussion from the commission members or questions?
No.
Yeah, I'm very happy with the change of adding the storm drain runoff. That's an excellent addition. So we do have findings of facts. Can you scroll to those, please? So again, there are 4 this time. All of these would need to be in the affirmative. Is any discussion on findings of facts? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the findings of facts.
Move to approve PC primary plat 2025-002 findings of facts in the affirmative.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We need to do the approval, but I have a question for council. So there are 6 primary plat conditions conditions for this, and we only need to approve 2 through 6. Should we make a motion to formally remove number 1 and then renumber 2 through 6 as 1 through 5, or just
I mean, honestly,
approve?
you could approve all 6 since they've already complied with number 1. Then it's something they had to do, have to do. The fact that they've already done it doesn't mean that we can't
It's
just keep
still
it
not a-
simple and keep it on there.
Any discussion on that? You want to just leave it on and approve with the 6?
Yeah.
It's just easier that way.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'll entertain a motion on PC Development Plan 2025-2.
Motion to accept the staff recommendations for PC primary plat 2025-002 with the 6 conditions.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. On to reports. Address report. None. Anything from board members? Anything from city county liaison?
No meeting last week.
No meeting? Okay. Project advisory, anything coming up? Nothing? Anything further from city staff?
We'll have, of course, the case continued for this evening. We'll, of course, have the case continued for this evening, and there's 2 additional cases on your agenda. So
Okay.
we'll have a meeting.
Thank you. Anything from the city attorney?
Nope.
Any further public comment? You have one more chance. Okay, saying none. Just remember, December 9th, 6 PM. It will be on a Tuesday. So I'll entertain a motion.
Motion
to
Second.
Have a motion, a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?